The thing about open worlds in video games is that it gives developers so much more room to come up with all kinds of stuff that not every player is going to experience the same, if at all. Tucked away in corners, in caves, or out to sea are some truly wild things to experience. If you're lucky, your exploration will pay off and you'll come away with some pretty incredible loot. I'm Si for WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 insane weapons hidden in open world games. Number 10. Wind Shear, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. When Skyrim released in 2011, it instantly became one of gaming's most beloved open worlds by being unbelievably deep. Countless quest lines set us off into the far reaches of the land, searching for adventure and stories to tell our friends about scraps with the ice giants or the crazy loot we found. Depending on how you played the game depended on what you might find out there. The Wind Shear sword can only be obtained if you take on the Hail Sithis quest, which means if you elect to destroy the Dark Brotherhood, then you won't get a chance to wield it. The quest allows you to board the ship to Kataraya. By climbing the boat and walking along its bowstrip, you can find the Wind Shear lodged into the wood. The Wind Shear is a single-handed weapon, but in order to make full use of it, you should be unequipped in the other hand so you can utilise its bash skill. What makes the Wind Shear so special? It can stun any enemy on either of its two swings for 1/10 of a second, from lowly skeletons to even dragons. Thus, if you're bold and swift enough, the Wind Shear can get you through most any battle the game has to offer. Time to go back and show that ice giant what for. Number 9. EXP Caliber, Dying Light. Techland's Dying Light games feature a variety of weird and wacky weapons that can be found in their open world cities to keep the games fun and fresh. One such piece of equipment is the first game's literal sword in the stone, EXP Caliber. XP Caliber? Exp Caliber, okay, I get it. From Fisherman's Village, if you swim out southeast from the mainland, you'll find a small outcropping of rocks in the ocean. Hidden from view is the Exp Caliber, impaled on a corpse, quite literally hoisted by his own petard. He won't part with it easily, and you'll need to hold down the button to retrieve it for a couple of minutes before you rob the poor guy blind. Don't rush away as soon as you grab the weapon, however, as waiting for a further 30 seconds gets you perhaps an even more vital reward. Suddenly the corpse will set alight, and where the body once was now lies the blueprints for the Exp Caliber. The sword is able to slice through most enemies easily enough, but it doesn't have a lot of resilience and it can't be repaired, which is precisely why you want to grab that schematic to build more. It may not be the most powerful weapon in the game, but it's definitely an unexpected delight for those taking a splash in Harren's shoreline. Number 8. Alien Blaster, Fallout series. Forget radiated monsters and ghouls. Unless you're a diehard fan of the series, you might not know that there is extraterrestrial life in the Fallout series. Ever since the original, there have been little nods, and the Alien Blaster weapon is something that has appeared in every mainline title and some spin-offs too. Typically, in games like Fallout 3 and New Vegas, the Alien Blaster can be found hidden away in certain spots of the map. If you're lucky enough to come across a crashed spacecraft of some description, rummaging through the wreckage will reward you with this unexpected firearm. It cuts a unique profile compared to most of the ancient human-made weapons of the franchise, and being a laser blaster certainly stands out. In Fallout 3 and New Vegas in particular, the Alien Blaster is considered one of the most powerful guns in the game and lands a critical hit every single time. It's not quite as useful in Fallout 4, but if you want to try it out for yourself, you'll have to find a UFO crash site north of Vault 81 and face off with the ship's alien captain to claim it. Show that little green man how we do things here down on Earth. Number 7. Arend Dete, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. In the original Witcher, Geralt lives out the tale of Excalibur and the Lady of the Lake by getting his hands on the monster-slaying sword Arend Dete. Canonically, our hero loses the blade in the prologue of Witcher 2 into the mouth of a dragon. A quest in the third game's Blood and Wine DLC, There Can Only Be One, allows the player to finally reclaim this lost weapon. The hermit guarding Arend Dete will only let those of chivalrous nature get their hands on the blade. Players who have completed other quests in the game that express their honour, wisdom, generosity, sympathy and valour can therefore satisfy the hermit's requirements. He will then challenge you to a one-on-one battle. To the victor go the spoils, and the Lady of the Lake hands over Arend Dete to Geralt and politely requests that he not misplace it this time. Arend Dete has a lot of awesome features that make it far and away the best silver sword in the game. First of all, striking with the weapon increases a charge by 10% each time, unless enough time passes or Geralt takes damage. When this charge hits 100%, the weapon will always land critical hits. Furthermore, Arend Dete gets more powerful the more you use it, meaning that enough time with the blade is sure to make it unstoppable. Number 6. Scorpion Gun, Halo Infinite. 2021's Halo Infinite saw the genre-defining FPS series take a big leap and plenty of risks. After some degree of staleness in its previous entries, Infinite brought Master Chief to his very first open world. Whilst the game does have the standard fare of Halo missions as part of its structure, players are encouraged to spend time on Zeta Halo rescuing UNSC soldiers, setting up bases, and hunting down alien scum. Unlike many of the game's special weapons, which are taken from notable alien war criminals, the Scorpion Gun is tucked away at the beginning of the game. After finishing the first mission and entering Zeta Halo's open world for the first time, climbing over the environment on the right with the grappling hook gets the player in front of 2 inactive turrets. Examining a specific point of the second one instantly equips the Scorpion Gun. This grants players immediate, infinite access to the turrets from the classic Halo Scorpion tank for as long as they want. Just don't swap your weapons, and you can run around the open world and enter missions with a tank turret on your head, firing blasts that can take down any enemy as well as banish dropships. A neat little Easter egg and a whole world of pain at your fingertips. Number 5. Magna Pulser, Far Cry 5. Some of the weirdest weapons in video games come from series that already have a very clear sense of humour, so it's not surprising that the Far Cry series contains several strange weapons. In Far Cry 5, conspiracy theorist Larry Parker can be found in the Holland Valley region of Hope County, and working through his questline will gain you access to his secret special weapon. The fourth and final mission, Out of This World, sees you defend Larry as he attempts to fulfill his ultimate goal of being sent into space. If you succeed, don't forget to check the containment field before you go for a little gift that the man has left behind. The Magna Pulser is high-tech and clearly not of this world. It also functions differently depending on range. From a distance, the device fires a wave of energy that pushes enemies and allies alike with great force, allowing you to ragdoll whoever is caught in the blast and or send them flying to their doom. Used up close, the vacuum instead just vaporizes the target in a cloud of red goo. An instant kill machine, provided you can get up close, it can also be used to handily destroy corpses in your wake to keep your enemies from finding them and tracking you down. Number 4. Loud Locust, Saints Row 4. Everyone remembers the Neuralizer from the Men in Black films, and if you don't know it by name, maybe that's because it was used on you. It's the device that wipes memory. The other reliable piece of equipment in Agent J's jacket pocket is the Noisy Cricket, a tiny weapon with one hell of a kick. Developers Volition decided to pay homage to this weapon with the Loud Locust in Saints Row 4. Head into the Let's Pretend costume store in New Baranek and blow open the employees only door. Inside you'll find images of the game's development team plastered on the wall, which explode into a shower of fireworks, and, sitting on the chair, the Loud Locust itself. This tiny pistol has infinite ammo and can cause all kinds of chaos with a simple squeeze of its trigger. It doesn't fire any missiles or any ammunition, just point and shoot and watch whatever you've targeted meet its untimely end. The Locust does require a recharge after each use, and much like Men in Black, will send you flying backwards every time you fire it. Small and hilarious prices to pay for the insane level of destruction that this little friend can cause. Number 3. Ringed Finger, Elden Ring. From Software's idea of an open world is one where no matter where you turn, you're not that far away from a monster that wants to crush and maim you and can do so with minimal effort. Luckily, there's also plenty of goodies tucked away for players keen to explore, including the only weapon on this list that appears to be alive, the Ringed Finger. In order to give your enemies the finger, players must find the secret opening in Mount Gelmore to find Gelmore Hero's grave. Taking the elevator down to the Site of Grace and swinging a left, eventually you'll find a room filled with lava and a chariot enemy that can kill you on contact. Carefully dodging the foe into side rooms and then walking through the lava at the bottom to a hidden side room rewards brave players with a chest containing the Ringed Finger. As a hammer style weapon, it's slow to swing, but despite all this, it's well worth having the Ringed Finger on your side for its unique skill. The claw flick sees the finger swell in size, flex, and then ping your enemies into oblivion. It's decent at taking down poise and breaking defenses, and presumably scratching really big itches. Number 2, the Left Finger of Glover, Dying Light 2. Giant fingers are all well and good, but swinging such a thing at your enemies is unwieldy. No, sometimes subtle is better, and why use a grotesque giant's finger when you can hide a weapon inside your own digits? The Hands of Glover are a long-running gag that started in Techland's zombie action RPG Dead Island. As a nod to lead developer Bartosz Glover Kluon, the Easter eggs have continued forwards into the Dying Light games, first with the right hand and now with the left finger. After completing the Dying Light 2 mission Broadcast, you can scale the VNC Tower and from there jump to a specific skyscraper in the Garrison District. Once you land, there's a cabling puzzle to complete that requires making some pretty deftly leaps off the building and back in at lower levels until you can finally find and open a secret door. Inside the developer's room, you'll find posters of previous Techland games, a thank you note, and the schematic for the left finger of Glover. It costs a whopping 369 scrap to build and only comes with 16 shots, but there's something playfully entertaining about pointing at your enemies and watching them go boom. Considering the scarcity of firearms, when the need arises, it's nice to have something like this at arm's reach at any time. Get it? Arm's reach? Yeah. Clever. Number 1. Experimental MIRV, Fallout 3. Fallout's post-apocalyptic world is the result of nuclear destruction, so you'd think keeping people's hands off of nukes would be a generally accepted way to move forward. Finding the experimental MRIV takes some time, as first you'll need to locate the 5 Keller family transcripts that are spread across the wasteland. Each one contains a number that, when strung together, becomes a passcode to a room in the base of the National Guard depot. Good luck getting there in one piece though. The depot is a maze filled with hostile robots and gun turrets that make getting to the armory no easy feat. Once you do make your way inside, you'll find the experimental MRIV. As a unique variant of the Fat Man, it fires the same mini nuke ammunition and therefore does the same amount of damage per nuke. The major difference is that the MRIV loads 8 nukes at a time. Of course, dropping a nuke on any enemy in the game is overkill, but when overkill isn't enough, then drop 8 nukes. Considering that there's only 70 mini nukes that can be found in the open world of Fallout 3 and you need 8 at a time to load this weapon, the fun you can have with it is limited. It's also limited because you're pretty likely to blow yourself up with it. Turns out that nuclear weapons are not a toy. Who knew? And that's the list. Let us know in the comments below what you thought of this video and of any other crazy weapons that you've found in open world games. Make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe and hit the notification bell. I've been Cy for WhatCulture, and have a good week.